What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the We Likey That pod. We are on episode 3. What up? Shout out to all the haters who never thought we would do 3 weeks worth of this, because we're here.
We're here.
And I am joined by Cam in the stew.
Mm-hmm.
Mulvey also in the stew, short for studio.
In the stew as well.
Very excited. Yeah, in the stew. So, boys, episode 3, week 3. How's everybody doing?
Good. Not bad. Had a guy
I'm
today.
good, man.
Had a guy
I'm good.
today. Had a guy today ask me on a scale of 1 to 30, "How are you doing today?" And I was like,
That's so
Solid
What an unreasonable
21.
scale.
"Just a solid 21, my guy." I don't know.
Hey, on a scale of 1 to 482, where you feeling, brother?
392, man. I don't know.
Solid 392
Yeah.
for me today as well.
Yeah.
Any big events this week? Anything happening that, like, Ole Miss won the College World Series that matters not to me nor Cam, but Mulvey, you're Ole Miss fan, huh?
Used to be.
He's a
Has
Southern
been.
Miss fan.
Has been, yeah. I'm that black and gold now, baby.
I forgot.
SMT.
You are in the black and gold now. Some
SMT
Southern Miss to
boy.
the top.
If you didn't know.
Musty Buzzies are killing it.
A pretty good season.
Well, this week we have a really, really exciting show. We have a guest joining us, and we'll introduce him here in a minute. We're jumping into We Likeys, Dislikeys. Mulvihill is going to teach us about ancient civilizations.
Deep.
I'm very excited about that. But before we get into any of that, we are going to have an ad read right now, and I'll do an ad read right here.
Sweet.
If you're okay
ad
with that.
read. Everyone click on that.
Sweet.
We're not playing
Click
around
that, cap
anymore.
that. We're for real.
Come on.
Yeah. All right. I'm coming back in now. All right. This week we got, again, Cam and Mulvey. We're in the studio, in the stew, but we needed some more beans in the stew. So we decided to call in a friend of ours, very good friend. He is in New York City, New York. The city's so nice they named it
You
twice.
can make it there.
Uh,
You can make it anywhere. I'm
anywhere.
talking
So
Middle East.
Sure.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Fucking Middle East.
yeah. Okay.
You
Okay.
got the
Yeah.
mentality.
We're
Keep that in.
you got the
Keep
mentality.
that in.
Yeah. It'll stay. All right. I'm going to welcome everybody to Josh McLemore, aka J.M.
Ross.
here. J.M. Ross in the stew.
J.
Welcome to We
Mizzle.
Likey That. J. Mizzle. Do you want to go by J.M. Ross or do you want to go by Josh? Because you named yourself J.M. Ross, which is really embarrassing.
It really doesn't matter.
Oh, so it doesn't
Okay, well,
even
I'm gonna
matter.
call you
So it is
Josh.
J.M. Ross then to me.
Yeah.
That's right. In my heart.
Yeah.
Can I
So
complain
confident
about something
it.
to you real
Sure.
quick? J.M. One, your middle name is Ross, not your last name. So it doesn't even make sense. But two, I followed Josh McLemore on Instagram, not J.M. Ross Music. You can't just, you got to make a whole new account. You can't just swap it up. All of a sudden, what used to be awful Instagram stories by you are now awful Instagram stories about your shows. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information.
Flip the script on us, huh?
So that's not fair.
Sure, that's understandable. I don't know.
No
Keep the
rebuttal.
audience on their. Gotta keep the
You
audience
know
on
that
their
man
toes.
does not really know how to use Instagram. It's just a internet
Yeah.
app to him.
I just,
I know.
yeah, and
It's
now
amazing
I
to
just
me.
am trying to use it just as a mode for that. I'm trying to not put anything personal.
No, it's very clear.
You are a little entrepreneur, and we
Social
respect
media,
Healthier for the brain.
it
Oh
is.
yeah.
Social media is supposed to be like a telephone, like a two-way conversation, and you've really just turned it into a megaphone. And I think that is commendable at the very least. So Josh, just some background info on you. You are from where? What city are you
Brandon.
from?
Mississippi.
Shout out.
Kurt like prepared for this.
I know.
It's just-
I did.
Like a roast
You are not
expecting
going to
the
have
JM
fun
a
here.
I was
roast.
expecting the JM Josh stuff immediately.
Yeah, that was coming in. That's going to be the least of it. This is going to be a tough episode
Oh my
for
God.
you, and I hope that you send it to all your friends. But so Josh, you grew up in Brandon. Me and you, obviously, best friends since ninth grade. We were in bands together. You've known
Best
Cameron
friend
for
since
how
5 years
long?
old, baby.
Yeah. I've known
We did
Cameron
it
the
big.
longest.
Down the
Way
street.
back.
I saw
Yeah.
this man once
Neighbors.
capture a bee, shake it in a jar, release it, have it sting the living fire out of him, and then run to his mom and say, I just don't understand why it stung me. His brain was working at levels that were just incomprehensible even at a young age.
Was a weird kid for sure.
Weird kid. Do we want to talk about what you did with the goldfish, or are we moving on past that?
That's not
If you want to know what happened with the goldfish, shoot an email, welikeyouthatpod@gmail.com. Check us out. All right, Josh. So we typically, the way the show goes is we're jumping into we likeys and dislikeys. We told you to prepare, and I hope you did. Because if you didn't, it's going to get really awkward really fast. But I don't know. Have I gone first yet?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I'll go
Today's the
first.
day.
Today is the day. My likey this week is when you leave the gym after going back for the first time in like a month and you don't look any different, but you feel like Achilles. Like you feel like a Greek guy. Like you look no different. You're still as gross as you were an hour ago. You're just sweatier, maybe a little pump going on. But the truth is you look just as awful and unappealing. But to you in the mirror, you're like, dude, I am yoked. I have missed nothing. I am juiced. And it is the best feeling in the world.
It is nice.
My dislikey comes on the heels of that. And it is going to the gym for the first time in a long time and having to see all the people and they say things like, where you been, brother? And you just feel even worse. So it's a double-sided coin for me this week.
Well, and
So,
it's waking
I
up
don't
the
know.
next morning and realizing you didn't lose 30 pounds.
Ooh,
And
Like
It's
I worked
hurting
my
so
tail
bad.
off yesterday. What's wrong?
yeah, it's tough. And the thing is, like, you lose all the water weight whenever you first start losing weight and you feel really good. And then it just grinds to a halt. It's, but yeah, my leggy, all about the gym this week. I went back to CrossFit after the broken pinky this week. I'm a CrossFitter
Oh yeah,
now.
Pinky doing all right, bro?
And
You fit for the cross?
No.
no, it's not great. This is an audio medium, but for those of you checking it out on video, you
Ugh,
can see
oh
that
my
it's a little
God.
bit angled now.
Oh. Bro, how do you walk around with that?
It's,
Everybody
uh,
watch YouTube
it's,
if you want
uh,
to see it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not great, but so it's doing okay.
Yeah.
I was able to do push movements, but if I try to pull anything, it is as though someone is trying to actively snap my pinky again. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I'm back at the
Big
gym.
push pull.
and there's
legs
one
guy
guy at the
myself,
gym.
so I could never do anything like that. I have to split.
I'm pretty confident that CrossFit workouts are specifically designed to injure you. I don't think they're.
That's what we've said all along.
That's
That
what
would be a pretty good feat.
I know.
I think the medical
Yeah,
industry,
I think
the
it's-
insurance industry,
Yeah.
came up with CrossFit just to get.
I do
kids.
too.
It's
I
all
would.
End zone.
conspiracy.
It was actually an autistic guy that came up with CrossFit, which I guess makes more
Is that
sense,
true?
like because it's so well regimented. Yes, he's autistic. I don't remember his name, but it is
Okay.
true. You can look it up. Google it. I'm not your slave. Here's the thing about this podcast. I want to shout out to a hater that said that we're dumb, and we have never said we're
Okay,
not.
Never claimed it.
And if you're listening to me talk about something to get smarter, that's on you. You're dumb. So
Yeah.
whoever that hater, if you think it's
Did
you, it's you.
I don't know
Say
why
that?
anyone
We know what you
expected
said.
to get smarter by listening to us.
yeah, look at this bunch. You're
No,
not
we
getting
want you to
smart.
get. Yeah, we want you to be actively dumber.
Probably
after an hour of
60% of what Kurt said last week was not true.
I watched a couple YouTube videos. I went on TikTok.
you just wait
I don't
for
know
this
what
week,
more I
bro.
could have
And there's
done.
the stat that 70% of stats aren't true. So
right.
do what you will with that
Yeah,
information.
it's not going to be good. All right, Cam, what you got this week on the we likeys and dislikeys?
My likey is, okay, so walk with me down this road. You wake up in the morning and you see something, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. Or maybe you remember someone that you talked to or a conversation you were talking to somebody with. Or maybe it's a song that's been stuck in your head, okay? And you go about your day and you're constantly like, man, what was that? Like, what was that I was thinking of? And then bam, I likey that moment where you remember what you've been thinking about the entire day,
Yeah, it's a good
trying to recollect.
Mm.
And just like that moment of euphoria where you're like, I don't have to think about this again because now I remember. There have been times where I've forgotten
Yeah,
it again, which just is an awful state
Yeah, it's
of
embarrassing.
living.
Yeah.
But that feeling when you first realize, like, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking about, unreal.
Yeah, it's like a part of your brain was scratched.
It really
like
is.
you know, whenever like you finally can scratch something that you haven't been able to scratch because you're in a public place or something, and you get scratched. That's the feeling. Like it's the moment where your medulla oblongata just gets that good long acrylic nail scratch on the back of it, and it is
Very
magical.
satisfying.
I just feel
agree.
like with work and like everything else, like I'm basically replacing childhood memories at this point. Like I don't have any room left to store any more information. Like
Oh yeah.
every day at work, I feel like something else is being inserted where like me and my dad were like playing catch.
Now you just know more
Yeah,
about oil and concrete.
Yeah, about oil movements. It's like this is just not anything I ever wanted to know, and now I'm losing the memory of like eating a popsicle on a warm summer day as a child.
Yeah.
It's really
Josh,
cool.
what's your favorite childhood memory? Is it when you pooped in the middle of your living room?
That is a good one. That's probably
It's up there.
honestly, that's probably my earliest memory. I think is me.
That's a
It's a
good one
solid
to
start.
have.
It's a solid start.
I mean, pretty traumatic
It's a good memory.
for me.
Do you want to share with the class what that memory is? Since all three of us know it, but there are listeners who don't know you, and so this will be one of their first perceptions of who you are as a
Sure.
person.
I must have been like 4.
It's younger than I was thinking.
My only experience with poop was that it would go in the toilet and it would sink in the water. So I just kind of felt that was a universal thing that poop did, that it sunk.
Just
So
sinks.
it was me and my
Through the
dad
floor.
home one day, and I wasn't in preschool for some reason. And I told my dad I wanted to poop on the floor. And God, what did he say? I know that y'all remember it. What did he said? That
It's not
that's
going to be
he
what
said.
you expect.
He said it's not gonna be what you expect. And I didn't know what that meant. I was like, I don't know what expectations are. So I put my pants down. But also, this is kind of on my dad. I mean, he just watched me
Yeah.
take my pants off and take a dump in the middle of the living room floor. Anyways, I turn around and I like look at it, and I'm like watching it not sink, and I just start like vigorously crying because I want it to go away, and it just won't sink.
Who cleaned this?
I assume my dad.
It wasn't your dad.
I don't
no.
remember the cleaning it, and I
He
feel
just
like
hung
I
out.
He
remember-
left it there.
They just left it there.
It eventually sank.
I do love, as a father now, I do understand the lesson he was teaching you, and it was that like actions have consequences, and I think that it's changed you as a person. Like you're a better person because you pooped in the middle of the floor and it didn't just sink.
Yeah.
What would you have learned if it had sunk into the floor? If a void had opened up, you'd be pooping everywhere. You would have learned
He lost
nothing.
his mind.
I'm all for
Like
it. It's not going to be what you
Dirk
expect.
tells his son,
I think that's a
Bear, it
big
ain't
motto.
gonna be
That
what
is a
you
good
think
motto.
often.
That's a good motto for life in general. It's not
Yeah.
going to be what you expect.
It ain't going to be what you expect. Nope.
That's incredible.
All right, Cam, what's your dislikey this week?
My dislikey is when you're like rolling through a random town or even in your own town or just anywhere you haven't been familiar with,
Just
like
roaming.
as far as like restaurants. So you see a little hole in the wall restaurant, or maybe it's not even that, but you see somewhere you want to go eat and you walk in and instead of like there being any clear signal on what to do, they're just like staring at you like, what's your next move, pal? Go sit down. Or like it doesn't say seat yourself. There's no menus for you to grab and go sit down, but all the locals are
Dude.
like, yeah, this fella didn't know where he's from. He's coming in. He's coming into Kismet's here in Brandon. And he doesn't know you need to sit down as soon as you walk through the door. Don't even look for a chair. Just sit.
Yeah, it's like every restaurant is like, you could order at the counter, you could
Right.
sat, you could seat yourself. It's like you literally don't know, and they're just like, good luck.
It's infuriating. Okay, that's a great
Yeah.
dislikey because I experienced it recently. We went to a local place. Someone, it was the best. It was best. First of all, food was not good, so I'm going to stand by that. Shout out. No,
Say
I'm
it.
not gonna
Yeah,
shout out.
say it.
Don't.
It was made bad.
God.
Maybe the experience was bad, but I showed up. We walked in, and all these people looked at us. And finally, this guy looks at the waitress, and he's like, "Hey, Anita, there's some new
Who's
people
gonna
here.
tell
Which is
them?
never something."
Hey, who's gonna tell him? Go sit your butt down,
And
brother.
Anita was, dude, she was disrespectful. It was wrong. It was not a good place. And
Owensboro is
I
not
maybe
that
they're
big
probably
of a
great
town.
people.
I hope you're not painting a target on.
It's like 80,000
Yeah,
people.
Josh,
I guess-
we
like
can't
same
all
size
live
as
in the Big
Hattiesburg.
Apple, pal.
It's 80,000 in Josh's
Yeah.
apartment. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Sorry, we're from
There's
small
more
towns.
ants
and we're
crawling
not
up
real
Josh's.
following
There's more
our
ants
dreams.
crawling up Josh's walls than there are in Owensboro.
I thought it was less people than that. That actually is not that small.
No, it's twice the size of Brandon, Mississippi, your hometown, aka
4
Jackson.
I
was
think
about
there's
to say,
like
I think
22,000
Brandon's like
people.
25,000.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Small.
small.
Oh wow. I have been lying to a lot of people.
Now you know.
But yeah, no, I hate that feeling when you walk in, all eyes are on you. There's some guy in like this, in overalls and a hat, and you're just like, this guy is judging me to my core about not
Yep.
knowing that I need to just
Mm.
immediately sit down and order something or just leave.
Can't stand it. And then they judge you when you don't get like the pork
Yeah.
chops, which no one likes pork
Or like
chops.
meatloaf.
Don't stop.
You like order something normal and
Oh,
they're like,
yeah.
this guy didn't get the meatloaf. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. You get the loaf.
I don't want collard greens. It's not time for it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's me.
Those are good.
That's good. What about you, Mr. Mulvey?
Mine are not home runs this week. They can't all be home runs. You know what I mean? Because I spent my time on the
Dave
deep
Ruth
dive.
struck out, brother.
That's right. Occasionally he did. But my like you this week, very simple. And it's a little game called Fall Guys. Okay?
Mm.
We're late to the game. If you're on
So
Xbox,
fun.
you're late to the game because, it was stolen by PlayStation and computers. But
Josh, when's the last time you played a video game, bud?
It was Jack and Daxter. I'm 100%
You were
sure.
in middle school.
Yeah, I mean, I was not in
No, he
middle
was in-
school, but I was in college.
He was in college.
That is the
Yeah.
only game the one and only game I've ever played.
You would play GTA.
You played all
You
three
you
of
would
them.
play GTA
In
and follow
Oh,
street
wait,
laws.
I played.
oh
GTA.
yeah, he did do that. Yeah, it says 30. You gotta go 30.
Man's the best citizen in GTA history.
That's actually more difficult
It's so
than
hard.
like running over
It's so
pedestrians.
hard
in
to
GTA.
drive.
That part's easy. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, Fall Guys, the level of addiction is actually pretty crazy. You're just a little Oompa Loompa looking guy
Dude.
going through like challenges and mazes and stuff, but I can't stop thinking about it. It's just like all that's on my mind right now. It's kind of nuts.
We played till late
We
last
did.
night, and we both should have gotten off a lot earlier. Like me and Mulvihill were playing Fall Guys, and like you'd watched it, and we were like, "This is
Yeah.
stupid." And then now it genuinely has consumed me. It's
I need
all
to
I
play
think
with you
about is
guys.
those
What's
little
the
I
beams.
played
premise
it
of this
whenever.
Yes,
game?
you would
Because-
Well,
love
I played it when it was on PlayStation for a while. There's
Right,
one
like 2
game
years
where
ago.
I just, dude, do they still have the game in there where you have to like end the round with a tail on?
Yeah,
Yes,
Dude,
oh,
I'm so bad at that one.
Brutal.
It's so hard.
mad brutal.
brutal.
Yeah, I almost threw my controller for sure. But
Little
yeah,
foreshadowing
Josh,
to the fans at home, all 17 of you. We're gonna start streaming soon. We're gonna have a
Oh,
little
yeah.
We Like You That
Oh, yeah.
stream going
no doubt.
where we're playing
Tune
games
in.
and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's coming down the pipe.
No
I
doubt.
bought a game share. That's the step I've taken.
pretty deep. Pretty deep.
What's
It's
the
more than I
premise
have.
of this game? Because let me tell you, when I hear it, I just think of like a game about autumn.
Autumn.
Oh,
I just think
no.
about
no.
like a game.
It's called
about,
Fall
like,
Guys,
two
and you're
guys
thinking, like,
running around
leaves?
in the fall.
Sloshing
No.
through the leaves. Yeah.
It's like these little circle. I mean, like, you know what Among Us is? The game. They've got these little like circular dudes. It's kind of like that, but different. This is an insane concept to explain.
Mhm.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, they all wear different styles of clothes that you can choose, and you basically just run through these nebulous obstacle courses set out by some unknown outer god who is watching these poor bean people try to defeat the course to then get a crown to only then start all over like Sisyphus pushing a boulder up a hill. It's genuinely a horrifying thought, but it's a
Yeah.
beautiful game.
It's a
fun.
battle royale mixed with obstacle course,
Mario Kart.
with like little people, and
Yeah.
instead of like gore and killing, they're just falling into oblivion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's watching it be played is what I imagine having a seizure.
It's just chaos.
I've never watched someone else play.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that.
I did back when it first came out because
I
I
was-
couldn't play.
Deep on, yeah, me too. Me and Mulvey would text each other and be like, "Oh, dude, I wish we could play this game," and then we'd go just scream at our TVs while we played Call of Duty for another 16 hours.
Yeah. That was about it.
And your dislike you this week, Mulvey?
Also not crazy, but it's midsummer here in the South, and the speed at which I collect back sweat, like
Accelerated.
it's so frustrating because you have your AC pumping in the house and you're feeling pretty good, and you're like, it can't be that hot today,
Yes.
like not another day. And you walk outside and it's just like you got back sweat, and it's like I gotta wear light clothes or black clothes. I can't wear like a nice gray or a nice, even this yellow shirt is dangerous. It's like, what's a guy to do? It's 1,000 degrees outside.
The latrine of your spine is just like flowing. The irrigation system is just going directly to butt crack down into thighs, where then it creates
Right, it
rub.
just all
Yeah, it's
becomes
horrible.
We
one
have
just-
so much AC, accessible AC, and I still feel like I'm on the set of whatever that movie Matthew McConaughey was a lawyer in Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
You know it's the
Lincoln
Lincoln Lawyer, right? Or
Mud.
Mud.
Maybe?
Mud's
I don't know. But anyway,
Mud.
you walk outside, you're starting to collect that back sweat, right? And it's
Yeah.
grooving all on your back. And then you walk in and you sit on something cloth, it's staying on you for the next 2 hours.
It's
yeah.
done.
You better
Game
change
over.
shirts.
Don't wear gray
Yeah, I've
shirts.
changed shirts.
Don't wear
I've
gray
changed
shirts.
shirts 4 times a day.
It's
I'm not
impossible.
ashamed to admit that.
Is it hot in New York? Is
Yeah,
that a thing?
It gets in like August, it gets pretty hot here, and then in July. But like, hot here is like high 80s, low 90s. I mean, it gets in the upper 90s like every now and then. The thing about New York is that there's no like real AC anywhere. Like it's all window units.
Gotcha.
But then there's no AC in the subway station, so
Ooh,
88
gets
degrees.
muggy.
I mean, 88 degrees outside is going to be about 100, like in the subway
the sub.
station, and then everything
Yeah.
sticks.
Hey, I have a-
so 88 degrees becomes really hot when you have to walk everywhere, and
Mhm.
everything smells like piss.
I have a pretty quick question on this. Did you install your window unit yourself? What story are you on?
If it falls out, it will kill.
How
me.
heavy? That's what I'm saying. Like, how heavy is it? That's insane.
lot
to
of
me.
units.
The apartment managers are just like,
You got it.
yeah, this thing
I
is
could've
100.
asked
We're
him.
gonna put the heavy part on the
could've asked
outside.
them.
It's
I mean,
in.
they're
It's
supposed to even be something they provide like a thing. Let me tell you. I mean, this is gonna be. I hope it doesn't fall on anyone because this is gonna incriminate me. There's supposed to be something provided that like holds it up. Let
There's
me
supposed
tell
to
you
be
what's-
screws,
let
and
me
I
tell you
didn't
what's
screw it
holding
in at all.
Let me tell you.
you don't screw it in. The window
Well,
just
you-
holds it.
you
It's
can screw it
insane.
in with like the insulation, but I'm not a nerd. So
Yeah,
the only thing
obviously.
holding mine
I like that.
is the window. If someone accidentally opens my window and someone is below, it's lights out for them.
They're gonna get a '90s television falling on their head.
I mean, hopefully that won't happen. And I do have like
Dude.
kind of a fail safe in that the ledge of my apartment is longer. It's not just like the side of a building. So
So it's gonna bounce off of it and get a good spin going to it as
I
it
think-
barrels
I
down
think
towards
it
someone.
would just fall back and catch. I don't think it would like totally fall.
Mhm.
If I
So
thought it
they
would
don't
totally fall,
provide a AC unit, Josh.
Oh no.
They just don't want to be
Went to Home
liable
Depot.
for
Do
repairs.
Madness.
Went to Home Depot and bought that, and I carried it on the train. And
I was gonna say, do you
Yeah.
carry it
five-
place to place?
Yeah, if you move. I mean, I had my last
Wow.
ones for a while, and then I like lost the piece that holds it against the window for my last one, so I just had to put the working AC unit out on the street because
Wow.
That's
it's gonna be
madness.
easier for me to go to Home Depot and find one with the part
man.
than me try to like find one that matches that AC unit. I mean, it was done. And
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you carry
That is
good for,
crazy.
like, 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
This is too much.
I can
about
never
this.
do AC
To be
units
honest,
again.
we're-
I'll just say that.
we're-
When I lived in Starkville, we lived in like this shack, basically. It was $200 a month. And we had AC units in our windows. And it was our only source of AC. And I kept mine ginning at a cool 62 degrees. Because like Josh's, I had no insulation. It was just like my window was open, basically. I had vines growing through my window. Okay.
Mine retracts enough to where the window's not
Mine was the
open.
same as yours. And then so like it whatever overcooled, I guess, and I turned it on one morning and an icicle started shooting at me like I was
That's
in
terrifying.
warfare, and then it
Oh,
never worked
no.
again. It never worked
Wow.
again, and I asked them to fix it, and they're just like, yeah, it looks like you got a real problem, and then walked away.
That's AC. We've already talked about AC guys. I dealt with them last week. Yeah, dude, they're just the most. They don't care
They
about
don't
you.
care about you.
All right, so Josh, you obviously prepared from some likeys and dislikes, and we're gonna get to those. But first, little surprise twist here. While we have you on the pod in front of an audience, I have some subscriber questions here
For me?
that I definitely did. Yes, they were for you. I don't know how it got out. You're a surprise guest, and it definitely wasn't me writing these earlier today. And saying they're subscriber questions.
Confirmed, Josh.
I'm
What
gonna
do you need
do.
to know?
These are some. Yeah, these are some direct quotes from you, and I want to see if you still stand by them.
Oh, God.
Okay.
This better not be.
All right. These are direct quotes of Josh Ross McLemore, aka J.M. Ross, whose new single is streaming this week, right?
A month
July
from now.
29th.
July 29th.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's July
A month
29th.
from now?
Yeah,
Josh,
we're off.
can we do a sneak
Ooh,
peek
boy,
as our
we lied
outro?
to a lot of people.
Oh,
Come
yeah,
on, man.
10
Throw us a
seconds.
bone.
I can.
A hot 10?
Throw us a
how-
bone.
Do I just play it on here and it comes through the audio through?
No. You'll send me the
No,
file, and
bro.
I'll just clip
It's
a
gonna
piece
be our
of it and put it
outro.
at the end.
Come on.
All right.
trying to-
So, Josh, this is a quote from you. Remember, direct quote on record. You said that you think musical theater majors are braver than the
I
Marines
didn't say that.
because, yes, you did. I've got it quoted
no.
here. You believe they're braver than the Marines because they're actually vulnerable on stage and put themselves
I've
out
heard
there.
you say that many times,
I've
Josh.
never
You stand
ever
by
said
that?
I have never said that.
I've got it right here on my notes app on my phone that you said it, so I don't know.
So here's my question. If you sing Grease Lightning as someone who hasn't been like a one-line character in a show in high school for Grease, is that stolen valor?
A little bit. It's
We
a little
just
bit.
can't go around
If you
humming
were-
Grease Lightning if we weren't in Grease and in a
Mm-mm.
rendition of Grease in high school. That's stolen valor.
Nope. So you're saying you stand by that comment, or you don't?
Well, I didn't. I didn't
That you
say
said.
that, and I wouldn't stand by it if I had.
Okay. Well, we can all grow and change. I think it's beautiful that you no longer think that musical theater majors are braver than our
Never
soldiers,
thought.
whom we all respect
Never
here.
thought, but okay.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your service.
Freedom is not free. Thank you for the dude who wrote Hamilton. So
Oh my God! I got
your next quote
I gotta
here-
Say something. I don't know if this is going to end up.
Let's
on
hear
here,
it.
but it is just too funny.
hit it.
So me and I live right. So Alexander Hamilton's house is right there, like what you're looking at, the Grange.
He's dead.
I mean, he's dead, but his
Yeah,
house
he
is
doesn't live there.
So
Oh, wow.
I
Oh.
had a joke with my old roommate for a while that all the musical theater kids would go to his house and perform some sort of sacrifice so that they could be in Hamilton. Fast forward,
Just
Well, their sacrifice is on
fast
burning
stage.
wigs.
fast forward to 2 years ago from when I moved here. I'm walking Penny after a shift at work, so it's about 3 a.m. And
And Penny's your daughter?
dog,
Dog
Oh.
nerd.
Got it.
Dog tour.
Yeah.
and I hear something faint, and I'm like, it's across the street, and I'm walking on the sidewalk, and I hear something faint that sounds like a song from the musical, and I'm like, there's no way that I'm hearing that, and it's 3 a.m. There's no way. And it gets
Yeah,
louder
right.
and louder, and I keep looking around, and there is someone at 3 o'clock in the morning singing a song from Hamilton, pacing the house at
No,
3 in the
dude.
morning.
Just sobbing. I am inimitable. I am an original.
What was he was singing
My name is Alexander. I hate Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Nah, bro, he wrote
Sorry.
Moana, man. Classic.
He wrote Moana.
Don't care, hate him.
Didn't
I
know
think
that.
that's what he was
Am I
saying. It
wrong,
was funny.
Josh?
I mean, I don't know.
The Rock
I don't know-
wrote
I don't know
Moana,
that much
brother.
about him.
Yes.
I don't like the guy. He's annoying, and any show he's in that I've ever seen,
His
I
voice
immediately
doesn't
turn
do it
off.
for me.
hate
I
him.
can't stand his little talking voice.
I don't like that he keeps writing himself in the lead, man. Get somebody who can sing. Stop doing it.
I'm not gonna.
It's like that's
say
sacrilege to Josh.
All right, I got another
First is like
quote
he-
from Josh here. Josh, so this one's from a little ways back, so you probably have grown and changed
If I said it
since then. So the quote starts with a question. Do you have a deaf option for hearing impaired listeners to listen to your music?
God.
No.
You don't? Okay, well then your quote makes a lot more sense. I don't want anyone who's deaf to listen to anything that I have or see anything that I do. Do you stand by that?
I didn't
Wow.
say that. Another one that I didn't
Can't
say,
stand behind
but I don't stand behind the statement. No.
or beside it.
So you don't stand behind it. Okay. It's a good thing I'm editing this and you're not. All right. So
Cold.
the last quote is one that you actually, well, not that you didn't say the others, but I do have a record of this one. It says Glenn Beck is one of the greatest minds of our
Sure.
generation.
So I will say to this. I probably didn't say that because in high school,
And you still stand by that.
Oh, come
I
on.
won't
Okay.
get too.
You're
into my
you are
leanings.
as conservative as red meat, brother.
Yeah, we're not political
Yeah,
on this podcast, so I really
I
don't
won't.
care.
But no, I wouldn't stand behind that, and I would have other words
Okay.
about him now.
I know.
I just wanted to make sure that these quotes were still accurate
So
or
the
not
last-
I
accurate.
once heard
The
Josh
last
say
one I-
democracy is whack. I will say that.
Democracy is whack.
End quote.
So, Josh, just to be clear, this one's a question leading to another quote. How do you feel about the Nazis?
Oh, gosh.
Not good.
Hate him.
It's a good call.
I'd say we're
Okay.
an anti.
Well, then I don't think your quote's going to be relevant here then. All right, so, Josh, now that we've cleared up some things, and people know you better at home and the things that you have said, even though you may not stand by them anymore, now they know you better, what are your likies and dislikies this week?
My likey was similar to yours, and it was on the heels of a dislikey. I went to the gym today for like first time in 2 years, and I got out and it was so hot, and I loved the feeling of when you like do a really hard workout and you leave and it's like really frigid outside.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
nice.
immediate relief. It's kind of like drinking like really cold water. It's kind of
Mhm.
washes
It's like a
over
natural
you.
cold plunge. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's the simple things, man. My dislike is
It is the simple
eating
things.
while walking. My dislike was walking out from a workout in the heat, but I changed it because I was eating McDonald's while walking today, and I really realized I hated it.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I think
What a
I just
combo.
reserve eating.
Josh,
to
you're
be
a hero.
split.
You know that? You're talking about working out and eating McDonald's. You're breaking all normatives of nutrition and
It's about
fitness.
balance. It's
Huge.
about
Yeah,
balance.
it's about
Huge.
You're a pioneer.
Sure.
Sure.
So, would you say that like your Afghanistan is stage right? It's gotta
And
go
adverse
out.
to the other
I
point
hate
Josh
walking.
made, I like a cold drive to the gym too, because you're
Yeah.
like sucking it up.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, it's cold. I'm getting in
Yeah.
the mindset that I'm just going to go work out as hard as I can
Yeah.
because you know what? I'm going to just
Mhm.
have to step right back outside and get in this vehicle.
Forces
again.
your
It's gonna be
mind to
cold
get in
bad.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting zoned in every time.
Yeah.
Shows mental toughness.
That's right.
It's you win the mental battle when it's like 35 outside and you still go get in your car.
Mhm.
Josh, when's the last time you drove? You don't know about this.
In January.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so it's been a
Yeah, it
while.
always is about 6 months in between. Well, that's probably not true. I've probably driven something. I don't know.
You already drove like you were way out of practice, my friend.
Yeah. Actually, this is
Yeah.
since I've moved here. I feel like I've gotten better because I just pay way more attention behind the wheel.
Oh, because it's like so.
You're one of the
intense.
most dangerous people I've ever been in a vehicle with. There was one time we were at a red light in a huge intersection, like massive, like one of the busiest intersections in our town. And it was green, and Josh stopped. And I was like, no, you can
Let's
go
go.
on green. But by the time he started going, it took this long. It had turned red, and he just drove through it in front of a police officer. And the police officer didn't react because I think he was like, there's no way this kid
This
does
can't be
this. And he
correct.
did it. It was insane. So you're not a good driver.
I
And
don't claim to
I
be.
no.
Never been. I mean,
Nor should you.
I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm about 98% sure when I die, I will be at the hands of an automobile.
It's
You just
unfortunate,
run
man.
That's
full
good
speed
odds.
into a
It's just
window
like,
with your head
probably
down.
The best odds for me is that I
Yeah.
die behind the wheel.
Probably
Yeah.
the best
I-
odds.
I would say if
I-
someone
yeah.
was going to bet
No,
on
I
it,
agree.
that would be it.
I'll throw 100 down right now.
That's why I think it's integral that I stay here as long as I can. Because once I leave,
I want you to know that it's integral,
what
not
did you
integral.
say?
That's not how you
I
say
don't
it.
know.
Yeah, don't say it again.
When I say
Kurt
integral,
called
All
you
right.
out. Integral?
Integral. Yeah, integral. Come on, guy.
Tomato.
All right, so Josh, what we're about to do is we're going to jump into our deep dive this week. So this is getting cut out, but I'm going to intro it a little bit, and then Mulvey's going to present us with the information, and we are going to react to it, talk about it. You know how it goes.
Yep.
So, Mulvey, you good? You got your
got my
stuff.
notes.
Cam, you good?
I've
You ready to
prepared
be
none.
funny?
Come on.
I figured you had. That's the best way to be. All right. In 3, 2, 1. So this week we are doing another jump into a topic. And this week Mulvihill has brought the topic. We previewed it a little bit in the intro, but he's been talking about this for a while. Whenever we were like, we need to figure out some topics to talk about, he immediately said ancient civilizations, which is weird, but I'm all about it, and we're going to jump into ancient civilizations. So take it away, Matthew.
All right, yeah.
Mulvihill.
So, don't know why this has always piqued my curiosity as a kid. I would just like flip on the History Channel and just like force my family to watch just strange documentaries and series about history. Just always been something I've been fascinated by. But this week we're gonna try to go all the way back to like OG civilizations. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you think the oldest civilization is with man-made like structures, not just like TPs with like sticks and woods together, like actual stone, like actual signs that like we were figuring stuff out. Like how many years ago do you think that was?
I'm saying 10,000 years
Okay.
ago in Mesopotamia.
Okay.
That's my guess. I'm going genuine guess here. That or the people who built Azteca, the Mexican restaurant.
That's up there. That's like right after. That's right after.
It's been there for so long and no one's
Whatever
ever
Kurt
there.
says,
and I'm
honestly.
pretty sure it's a
Tell me
You
lot
ever seen the
longer.
movie
It's an
Apocalypto?
ancient civilization too.
Yes.
No,
You
I
ever
Sick.
haven't.
seen Apocalypto? Well, you would love
Not
it if
at
you're
all.
into this stuff.
Yeah, I had to watch it in school for social studies because
Nice.
that's apparently
Nice.
a merit.
Well,
It's like when they
it's a
made
good
us watch
movie,
The
but
Day
yeah,
After
that's what
Tomorrow.
I picture.
Yeah. That's a good guess. What you got, Josh? How many years you saying?
I don't know where I heard this, and it's probably wrong, but I thought that the oldest writings were like actual like language was like 5,000 years ago, and
That'd be a good guess if he had said writings. He said structures.
oh, that's true. Well, I'm
There
gonna,
are
I'm gonna
carvings
stick
involved.
To the, I'm
There
gonna
are
stick
carvings
to
involved.
Civilization is they probably were building stuff around the same time they started writing stuff. So 5,000 years.
The answer.
Yeah, those things require the same amount of tools.
Well,
so that's
maybe
a
not
good,
tools,
that's a good
but,
train of thought.
No,
Yeah.
Brain tools.
I don't
The
know.
tools in your brain.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I don't know
Yeah.
when writing started, but the answer is 12,000 years ago.
Oh.
Is the first signs.
Hey.
Yeah. So there's a
Get
there's a
wrecked.
place. It's in now modern day Turkey, but it's called Göbekli Tepe. I think it's how you say Göbekli Tepe, and it was like right around 12,000 years ago. They have stones that they clearly carved. They have like structures, like there's like a couple pillars with some,
Okay.
some stuff, and then there's carvings. There's stuff to represent, I guess what they were thinking, believed, whatever at the time. but it's kind of nuts. They think it was actually like a ritual site, or they would come there to like worship gods, or like it wasn't really even like it's like the OG start of civilization, because like it was hunter and gatherers for like however long, and they're just foraging and whatever, and they come together to this one place basically and start building a place, and they're like what are we doing here? You know, not just like survival. It's like actually like what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Oh, so but what do you think was the switch flip when they were like, we need to do something different. This copious amounts of berries and
Yeah.
meat in the houses. Like, I wonder at what point they were like, what if we didn't die every time it was nighttime?
Yeah. That's probably the like, you know what, I'm tired of this, you know? I want to make it 30
Yeah,
years.
because I feel like in every one of these documentaries, they're like, life was great, it's awesome, blah blah, and like, and then the nighttime came, and everybody just died.
Mhm.
It was winter
It's
and
like a game
nighttime
of
were the greatest.
Mafia.
That's it's exactly like a game of Mafia, the greatest game.
George's wife sniffed, and everyone came down with the bubonic plague. She sniffed too hard.
Yeah. The plague is a horrifying thing, but that's a whole different conversation. Hey, I'm going to hit pause real quick and go tell my son good night. I'll be right back. All right, pick us up
So like
now.
the crazy thing is they come there, I think, to start figuring out purpose, what they're, you know, why we're here, what we're doing. Maybe start looking at, you know, religion, or, you know, trying to just figure what all that out is. But the crazy thing is the first signs of like domesticated wheat crops, like signs of us actually growing and controlling crops, and domesticated like farm animals like cows, pigs, whatever, first come in that area right around it. So yeah,
Like
so like
12,000?
they said like the year, well, I guess it would be 10,000 BC. Yeah.
Little did they know
Gotcha.
that
Okay,
wheat they were
so yeah.
growing was going to be the demise of 15% of the weaklings in the U.S. from
It's true.
2022.
Yeah, I wish they
can't
could have
even
figured that out.
Ooh. Cameron calling. It was maybe that was the biological
They knew it
weapon that
early.
they had. Like, we don't know. Maybe they knew it early. They were like, we give people bread, they'll have little tummy aches and they can't eat certain things. Shout out to all Josh's New York friends listening to this.
They haven't
Gluten-free
eaten
is
gluten in
fake.
5 years.
Stand by it.
Ever since
Celiac
it came out,
disease is
ever since
fraud.
the disease came out, they're like, yeah, I have that.
I'm trying to think if I even have.
Yeah.
Any,
You just want something.
I guess I know people that are gluten intolerant.
Don't downplay it.
You're gonna
Go ahead,
send it
Mulvey.
to him.
Anyway, so yeah.
Just a New York thing.
Yeah, like that's literally like this place is like where civilization really starts, which is just like nuts to think about. Like the first group, and they're coming from all over. They're not just like a little group in the town. Like they're traveling from surrounding areas to come to this place. But then the craziest thing.
Well, if it started there, what do you mean
So
they're coming
like
from
they
surrounding
built,
areas?
so they're not living here. They're not living at this
They were
area.
living by themselves.
Yeah,
for
Gotcha.
they
this.
would come. Yeah, they were still hunter gatherers that would
They were
travel.
crashing on their friend's couch, and then they all decided
Right,
to meet
their
in New
friend's
York.
rock. Yeah, they had their
Follow
friend's
their
rock they would
dreams.
stay at, and
Gotcha.
but
So you would say that like the people from Owensboro and Brandon actually chased their dreams and came to the
right, or like
metaphorical New
Nashville
York,
or something. They would
therefore
meet,
making
yeah.
them better, smarter, and stronger. No, New York is the answer, and making them better, stronger, and smarter than the other weaklings who were too afraid to chase their dreams.
Like nurses.
Is that what,
Just like
kind
that.
of the
Right,
vibe
Miss
I'm getting
Jenny
here?
and Alex Hamilton?
Yeah,
Chasing your dreams.
yeah, nurses.
doesn't
At
make you
least he's doing what he
stronger, it
loves.
just, makes you stupid.
It
Okay.
makes you.
Good job, man.
It makes you worn down. Yeah.
It makes you depressed.
Yeah. That's
Edit this out.
Oh,
Edit this out.
that's a different podcast.
cut it.
Clip it.
Yeah. So the craziest thing. So yeah, basically they're coming from all over, and they don't live here, but they just like meet. It's like a meeting of the minds. You know what I'm saying? And you start seeing civilizations, or like, you know, how they're gonna make it, and not just like find berries in the woods. But the craziest thing, okay, there is a carving on one of the stones of a person holding a bag. It's like a square bag with a handle on top.
Was it
I would
Gucci
assume
or-
so. That's where Gucci started. Yeah.
It's the first merchant Joseph.
Had to be.
Merchant.
Sir Gucci.
Yeah, Saguchi.
Merchant Joseph's is the stupidest joke I've ever heard.
But you start. Okay, so this handbag is important because you start to see that all over the world. There's this same handbag in like Egypt on the pyramids. There's pyramids in like South and Central America and India that all have this handbag symbol.
The first drip.
You could say they were
Like,
always
this is the
chasing the
first
bag,
drip.
brother. They were always had that bag in mind.
They were
But
chasing the
they
bag.
fumble it.
Like
They
this
fumbled
is
it,
the
yeah.
first
Because
like
none of them are still around.
yeah. Oh well.
Well,
But it might be.
There's
I mean,
remnants.
I don't
you
know what that
but-
bag was. You ever tried drawing on a rock and drawing an accurate depiction of what
It'd
you're
be
holding?
tough. You got to have a good chisel. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Back to square one. Back to episode 1. Fashion returns. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
are these little like bags that guys are wearing around their whole body, or was that what they were doing?
I think that's out. I think now it's like
Like
it's almost like
clutch.
a purse,
The
but it's like a
canvas tote. Yeah, the
canvas, like a
canvas tote.
canvas bag. Like a canvas tote is in now. The
Right.
shoulder
Oh,
like
yeah, I'm
bag
so
is
far
out.
behind.
Yeah.
I thought the canvas thing
Yeah,
was
it's
out and
alright.
the shoulder thing was in. I thought it was the opposite.
Josh is in New York, so really
I
he
mean,
should
I don't-
know.
I was about to say you know more than me. I live in
I
Kentucky.
feel like I see people always put the Lululemon like shoulder.
Yes,
shoulder
that's what I've
thing.
seen, Josh.
And I used
Yep.
to see people with the canvas
Okay.
tote, but I now I carry my canvas tote around. I feel like an idiot. So I'm like,
Look at Trader Joe over there.
They saw
Hey,
you
Trader
doing it.
Joe. Keep walking around the
Yeah.
city, lame.
Keep it moving, buddy. Yeah, so the
So this
bag,
bag
is in
all over the
literally
world, huh?
everywhere. I mean, they don't totally know what it means. Like if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, some people think it's a symbol for like the people who bring civilization. Because a lot of times it's like a almost deity type thing holding a bag.
I'm gonna be honest. I was gonna ask
Yeah.
about the aliens at some point, so I'm glad that you went ahead and went there because this is I was all I could think the whole time
since you
was
What
said
is it-
Discovery
it's aliens,
Channel,
obviously.
I've been thinking about aliens.
I mean, have I watched a lot of alien stuff too? Yes, I have. Yeah, but
Have
I
to.
mean, yeah, like how do you get that symbol? You know, what I'm saying like in South Central America, in Turkey, in Egypt, in India, like you know, they didn't have boats. It's just like a wild thing because for there to be a similar symbol, and these civilizations, I guess, started popping up after because this is the oldest one. But still, I mean, you're even looking at like 5,000-6,000 years ago.
yeah, but drip is
It's a
transcendent.
mindset.
Drip
It's
is
a mindset,
transcendent.
yeah.
Like you just know. I didn't even. I'll be honest. Like when skinny jeans were going out, I started feeling uncomfortable in my skinny jeans before I even saw people not wearing skinny jeans. I was like, these things are extra tight, huh? It's like a subconscious around the world. Everybody was chasing
That's
the
right.
bag at
That's
the same
right.
time. They
We're all in the
realized,
same hustle, yeah. I mean,
that'd be my
hustle
guess.
doesn't have a language, you know what I'm saying?
Same hustle.
It's like math.
That's right. Right. Just like math.
Hustle and math are the same.
Yeah.
Everyone speaks math, Kurt. I see your confused face.
I was,
Kurt
I'm not a
doesn't-
math
that is
guy,
true.
so
I
I would
was
be
confused
dead
about the math thing,
immediately.
too.
Y'all haven't heard that expression that math has no language?
Sure.
It has letters
That's
in
a
it though,
certain
that are
type of-
specific
that's
to
a
the
certain
English
type of
language.
math.
Am I not?
2 + 2 = 4 is
Okay.
the same in every language, is what it means.
Yeah. Dos plus dos.
Yeah, but it'd be
equals quattro.
dose.
Same concept.
Good for you.
Yeah, but that's still not universal language.
I've heard music is a universal language, but maybe that's
Oh,
that might be-
wow.
Shut up,
Sure you
nerd.
have.
proximity effect.
Well, they sing music in other languages too. Does that eliminate his point, Kurt?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. You know I'm not going to agree with him. I don't know. There's nothing he could say.
That's right. That's it. That's the end of the road there. Yeah. So I'm not saying I believe like everything or like that I know. It's just like it just like blows my mind to think about like because if you think of like how far we've come in the last couple hundred years, you know, we went from like horse and buggy to flying
Teslas.
and Teslas, driven by energy.
Carrier pigeons to iPhones.
Right, exactly. It's like, how did this work 5,000 years ago? I just try to think about, I put myself there, I'm like, it doesn't even make any sense how you made this happen. Like, when I was young, I struggled to even like get a message sent out before like email or anything. Like you had maybe had to call somebody, but it's like that was not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you got to think like 1945, we're storming the beaches of Normandy in like tanks that
Right.
barely function. And now those same descendants who Josh would argue are braver are dancing on TikTok,
No.
putting themselves out creatively.
Gosh.
Nope.
It's crazy how quick technology goes from one thing to
Right.
the next is what I'm saying. I think that you agree with that, right, Josh?
Yeah, I still can't get the image out of my head of a giant energy ball driving a car from the energy driving.
Oh, we're talking about Tesla is just
It's
an
like
energy
driven
ball.
by energy, and I'm just like, I'm still reeling.
I'm
from
driven
it.
by
Sorry.
Bang Energy, so I get it.
This
It does.
podcast makes
We
people
said that
smarter.
at the top. We said
I
that
think
at the
we're
top.
all- we've all
We know what we're
confirmed
talking
it.
about for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, and like, I guess one thing is like they, you know, had the stars in the sky were totally like more vast, I guess, and you could see so much more. Like we look up and we just see like clouds or nothing at night, but I guess when you see so much, you know, you start using stars and stuff to orient yourself. And the crazy thing, like some pyramids, is like they would line up with, you know, stars and stuff and or constellations, but some of them are
First
so
astrology
crazy.
gals.
Exactly, they were the OGs, and they
They
could
were
line up.
horoscoping before anyone else was.
They really did. I mean, there's like, it doesn't make any sense to me how they figured it out, but like, there's some where like light, like a summer solstice will come through and light will shine through the top of a pyramid and like shine down and make shapes and stuff. I'm like,
That's when the avatar
That's so
before
dope.
makes
Exactly.
himself known and shows himself to the new avatar.
exactly,
Yeah.
bro.
All right, so
Uh-huh.
with like the alien stuff, one of the things I saw was
Yeah.
sorry, it's talking about the pyramids, and it was talking about, so if you get into like conspiracy theories, pretty much every ridiculous conspiracy theory, like flat Earth or like moon shaft. If you don't know what the moon shaft is, we may do an
Check
episode
that
on
one.
that, but you should look it up because it's insane. But it all of these like conspiracy theories, or like even the
Mhm.
lizard people one or whatever it is, they all go back to some really anti-Semitic vibes.
Did not
Like
know
they it all leads back, like every one of them, like it starts with like chemtrails and ends with like, and that's why we the conspiracy theorists believe the Jews are
That's
behind
so-
it. And I don't know, so the point I'm even bringing up is how like everything is blamed on this one group of people, the Jews, except for the building of the pyramids, which they actually
And it's
did.
the coolest.
That are like,
Yeah.
that one was aliens.
That is actually crazy. I never thought of it.
It's
I'm
No, that
out on
one was
aliens
aliens.
with the pyramids.
So,
and I'm
like,
in on those goats that can scale walls,
Dude,
rock walls.
a flat surface and they're just walking.
Mm,
They're
They
just
could have
standing
done
like
it
this.
the way they do that. They could have, they could have just slapped them,
Uh-huh.
and they could have walked up those walls all diagonal with their little hooves, with like all of the bricks and stuff on their back, and just somehow
That's
figured out
true.
how
It
to
was
lay
the
them down.
goats.
Have y'all seen pictures of those goats?
Yes, it doesn't make
They're
any
standing
sense.
on nothing. They're
Yeah,
standing
this
on
is
nothing.
unhinged.
Those
This
goats
is-
are standing on a prayer. There's nothing
Living
solid under
on
their
a prayer.
hooves.
But I don't understand how that equate. They're like, you're like, well, they can stand on anything, so they can build
They're
it.
the only living creature that could scale a pyramid.
That's true. Yeah,
In my
That's
eyes.
I get
That's
the
fair.
connection.
Hey, Billy Bob was not
Yeah.
operating a crane back in those days. There's no way that there was some guy sitting in a crane with a Zen pooch in, just operating all those bricks to go up in a triangular motion.
That's true.
So-
I mean, there's guesses how people do it, but none of them are accurate. You can just look at the logistics of it, and you're like, this is not how they made this pyramid. But it's some old
Everyone
stuff.
look up a picture of those goats. I don't know what they're called, but look up goats standing on side of a mountain, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll
Clip
add it into the YouTube video right here. It's going to be in the middle. You're going to see picture of the goats that Cameron hypothesizes
And you'll be amazed.
built the pyramids.
I hope so too.
I
No, it's
hope
good
so.
stuff. If you want to get conspiracy theory, the Sphinx, like the giant Sphinx that's in Egypt. They
Mhm.
say, like, if you're like a teacher or you're like a professional archaeologist, they'll say it's like 5,000 years old. But the
Okay.
bottom of the Sphinx, they think actually has water erosion on it, which means it would have to date back to when the Sahara Desert actually used to be like the largest lake in the world, and there was rainfall and all
Get
that.
out of town.
So it would have to be much older than 5,000 years old if that comes out to be true, and that would be kind of wild.
So that would be wild, but
Mhm.
I guess my question to the archaeologists,
Mhm.
big wig nerds, would be, okay? Question
See,
mark.
You don't get it, bro. For me, this is like, ooh, my something inside me
get
just
it.
starts welling up. Yeah, it's just like it gets me. I'm not saying for
Gotcha.
everybody, and also don't think you have to believe it, but I just think it's like crazy to think about like what we were doing back then.
No, it is crazy. I thought that you were going to be like, that implies that we now as a species have not advanced enough. And I
You think
think
what?
I think that's right. I think if they're building sphinxes, as you know, some people call it the sphinxter, like the
Always
chadster.
called it that.
I think a lot of people call it that. It's a nickname for it. So they're building the sphinxter out there in the desert, and it's thousands upon thousands of years older. We should be more advanced.
Well,
That's all I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is I should not have to get up to poop. It should just go to the toilet without me. It should
Yes.
disappear into the floor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm with
Which
Kurt.
is
Like,
accurate.
how did we go from clay huts to houses with hard stuff with clay in between every crease? I feel like our houses should be made of like titanium at this point instead of
think
just
that?
like brick
I
and
think it's
other
a,
clay.
true.
a building
Harder
materials
clay.
expense. Would that not be more expensive, titanium?
Yeah, it should be less expensive. It should be so played
Wow.
out that it's not as
why are
expensive
we still living on
anymore.
money? Like
We
money's
should have
played
used
out
it
for
so
sure.
much.
Well,
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And Moby, don't push your crypto.
And now
right
the
now.
ad for
Bro, I just
wait,
want to
Moby,
mine,
what you were
bro.
saying-
All I can think about all day, all I
Check
can
out
think
Likey
about all day
coins.
is mining for coins.
Yes.
Mulvey, what you said reminded me
Mining
of
for
a
coins,
conspiracy theory
deep.
that. Have you heard that the Devil's Tower is actually they think was a tree at one point and is actually like a petrified?
I have
tree
seen that.
trunk? Something
I
you-
have
yeah,
seen
I
that.
was wondering if you knew it. I know.
So I know what the Devil's Tower is, but like someone like Cameron might not. So if you want to explain it, and instead of
Yeah.
me
It
explaining
sounds
it,
insane.
I
yeah.
thought
You can
you were
explain
talking
it to
about
him.
Joshua's Tree,
I've
the
got a-
YouTube album.
I've got it pulled up. You can like look it up on the internet. The Devil's Tower, Wyoming. It's this like giant rock.
Yeah.
and there's really just
It's a
no other
mountain.
way
It's
for
like a
me
short
to-
mountain,
And
yeah.
it's flat on the top. I mean, it looks like it's a tree trunk, like times 100.
Yeah, that they just like
Isn't it funny how they saw it and they like looked at it and they're like, I don't know what that is. It must be the
Yeah,
devil.
Mulvey, what part of civilization did they start thinking women were witches?
oh my gosh. Man,
2022 still.
yeah. Gallon's gotta
We're
go.
gonna cut that.
She knows how to computer program, throw her in the ocean.
Yeah, I mean,
She's no good.
women couldn't have nightmares without being burned at the stake until like 60 years ago.
If you had night terrors in the 1600s, it was lights
Yeah,
out
that's
for
actually
you.
terrifying. Yeah, I have seen that. I think a lot of mountains. Some people think all mountains are just giant trees, like ancient trees, but that's just not the case.
I think
I would.
there might be something where
Yeah, it can be.
they disproved this, but what you said reminded me of. I mean, it looks like a tree, and it's in the middle of like nothing, no other like rock formation that
Right.
looks like it. So, I mean, I
Yeah,
would
there's some
believe
other
either
ones,
way
too.
because I don't know anything about archaeology.
There's some other ones
Yeah.
too, where like the tree, it looks like a tree that got like knocked over by wind. It has the jaggeds,
Oh yeah.
but
So are you on the wave, Mulvey? Like, obviously you've researched this more and
Mhm.
you're expanding our horizons. Are you on the wave of the people who would say like carbon dating is a flawed system where for some reason, I don't know if that's actually even a thing. I heard a smart person say that. Actually, I heard secondhand someone told me that a smart person said that. And I
Sure.
just was like,
Carbon
probably, I don't
dating.
even know what
yeah,
it
I
is,
don't
to be
fully
honest.
understand carbon dating. I think they've probably gotten better at it. I think now they kind of have to give ranges. You know, it's like, well, it's not 1232 BC. You know, it's like you gotta be like, it could give or take 1,000 years. You know.
It's
How does
But,
carbon
yeah, I don't
dating
know, I'm not
relate to
smart
speed
enough.
My
dating
dad talk
or like
about it.
blind dating?
They're the same.
Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
It's dating, but lighter and more
I've heard
durable.
my dad talk about it before. There's something like there's a certain kind of
Your dad's a
Oh, yeah, your
geologist.
dad's a
Geogon.
geologist, huh?
carbon. I mean, this is like going to be loose because I think it's the ratio of carbon 12 to carbon 14, and there's got to be something with like the like radiation, and then that's how
Mhm.
they
The
determine
isotopes, you know.
what the ratio.
Dude, your dad would be so proud. This is the
Something
proudest your
about the
father would
ratio
ever
of
be of
those
you.
things.
Unless he got
Is you
all of that
talking
wrong, we
about
have no way of
geology.
knowing if what he said was true.
I'm not sure. You'll have to look it up. I think it's
Josh.
carbon 12 and carbon 14. It's like the ratio under like the atmosphere. I mean, that's about as specific as I can be, but that's how they determine how old stuff is.
Nice. That sounds about right.
Okay.
That sounds good to me.
Saying that
I-
to me would be
I
like,
don't
that's
know.
just like plugging
You
in
could
a
have said
screw
anything.
lead into a beep boop bop, and I'd be like, yeah, what I said makes the same amount of
Precise.
sense as the second thing.
Right. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
like that.
I agree.
If y'all had to go back in time to any time in history, where would you go?
2014. When I
Back when
Yeah.
Pokemon Go came out that summer.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, the summer of
That's what
Pokemon Go
humanity
2016. Yeah, that would be
That's
it.
true.
I don't want to be anywhere
Yeah.
where I don't have a cell phone. I don't want to be anywhere where I don't have a car. I don't want to be anywhere where I have to listen to the awful music of the era. I don't. We like people. It's like people are like, I want to go watch the Beatles. Ugh, no, music got better. And I stand by that. I'm anti-Beatles. I'm anti a lot of things. I'm
Such a
finding
big
out
no
today.
like
A
you
lot of
got
hot
today.
takes coming out of my mouth. To be honest, I before the pod, they can all attest. I said I was going goblin
Goblin
mode.
mode.
So
He's in all in
This is
goblin
it.
mode.
He's
Yeah.
goblin
And then-
time.
goblin
that tea,
mode.
and it
I
just
live in
sent
a
you.
cave. I
Time
dwell.
goblin, he gobbles time.
This goes back with the
I gobble time.
Time.
Molly,
I'm
I don't know how to
stealing
answer
any
your
and all
question, to
shiny
be honest. I don't
objects.
know where I would like to be. Not currently. I don't want to be in a recession.
That's
Maybe
for
the
sure.
20s.
The
Maybe
20s.
the roaring
The
20s.
roaring 20s.
That's right before the
Yeah,
worst
Yeah, but
recession.
I would like to die in the 20s.
Oh, that's it.
One
That's
where
your
it
that's your
had
peak.
to be-
I would like to
gotcha.
like pick up cigarettes heavy in the 20s, I think, and be rich
And not know
just,
they're
like,
bad for
Oh,
you.
dude.
I mean,
I
like
will
drugs
say.
were still in soda, you know. I just feel like I
Oh,
would be
yeah.
just living loose.
Coke was pretty fire
Yeah.
back then. That was their bang.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
hear. Yeah,
Yeah. You'd be like, I'm feeling pretty sick, and they were
Yeah.
like, here's some heroin. And you're like,
Sure.
"Oh, okay.
that was the Four Loko of the time was Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, they would prescribe to you. They'd be like, "Hey, listen, you have severe lung disease. You're going to need to smoke like 5
Yeah.
more cigarettes a
Yeah.
day to get through
Mhm.
this. Like, it's going to really burn it out and
Josh
smoke
will
out
remember
the bad."
this.
And that was in the
Me and
that
Josh
was in
had a
the
real
60s.
adult humor. Josh, do you remember watching George Lopez all the time?
Yeah, that was.
I did.
So like,
That's for sure.
we would like Josh. Well, I wouldn't understand them, and Josh would catch on to these jokes. And in one episode, it was George Lopez was like stuck in the 1950s or something, and the
Oh,
joke
God.
was him being like, "Yeah, I had to check in with my doctor, and he said as long as I keep smoking like a chimney and eating red meat, I'll be a-okay." And Josh like explained to me why that was funny, and we said it all the time.
That's incredible.
Man.
I will say, yeah, Cam, I'm going to go ahead and say, like, obviously we know how bad cigarettes are now. And
It's
so,
not about how
like,
bad something is, it's
to
about
then
how
smoke a
cool
cigarette is
something
not
is.
good
You
or
have to
cool.
decide whether you're going to be a nerd.
That's true.
I know, but it's not cool now. It's not cool. We all just discussed going to the gym. Like, people around you are disgusted by it, and it's not cool to do. But in the 80s, it was like you'd be on a phone call and you were like, I got to light up, and it just looks really cool. It makes me like, again, cigarettes bad, but they look really
It's
cool.
true, unfortunately. And if everybody smells like cigarettes, nobody smells like cigarettes. You know what I mean? We all just smell
Yeah,
the
that's
same.
true, dude. Imagine how people
And vapes
smell.
don't
Vapes
look
are
cool.
not cool. I mean,
Whoa,
It's
Josh,
so-
you're
isn't it funny
alienating
how
a large
like
audience.
cigarettes
I don't
cool,
think
vapes.
I don't know if I realized how many people our age vape. Like it is
I mean,
It's a big biz.
so many people just walking around smelling like boysenberries.
Boys.
You know what I mean? Just blowing out.
It is
blowing out
frustrating to think that you're
strawberry
walking. Yeah, well, it's frustrating to be walking around a corner and be like, ooh, someone opened a bag of sweet tarts, and then it's just a guy in
With
a
a
fedora
goatee,
with
just-
gauges. It's
Or it's
Yeah.
I can't say his name.
Coward.
Ruin your life, like Kurt
Good.
did with that
I'm a
restaurant.
coward.
Shout out Madewell and Owensboro. I'll give you another chance.
That'd be
but
cool.
Be nicer.
Just tell them where to sit. We don't want to have to make a decision on a restaurant and then decide where we want to sit and then decide what we want to drink and then decide what we want to eat. At least tell me where to sit.
That's right.
Or get one of the signs that says "Please
Yeah.
wait to be seated,"
just
or don't have that sign, which means you're going to
Exactly.
meet me at the door.
Thank
It's
you.
it's really
Yeah,
easy.
It's simple. It's easy. I get it. You want any more facts, or you want to
Ancient civilizations.
Give me one-
yeah,
yeah.
I need
I
more
got
facts.
One more and
Okay.
then we vibey, okay?
Yeah, I'm in. All right.
Okay, I like that.
So we all know the Amazon rainforest. Big area, a lot of forest.
It's where they grow all the packages.
That's right.
and Amazon Essentials shorts that
That's-
I buy.
It's where
I
cardboard
ordered
is made.
batteries from there.
That's
Yeah,
the
I
stupidest
ordered
thing I've
batteries
ever
from there the
said.
other day. That place is sweet. They have everything
they're-
you'd ever want.
It gets there pretty quick from South
Yeah.
America. But
Huge.
so
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
there's ancient civilizations there too. I mean, it's everywhere, but they're starting to find like civilizations that have been covered up by the rainforest. So
Mm.
the Spaniards went there, like really like a small group, I think, went there first, and they came back and told everybody, like, dude, there's like millions of people here. We got to go down there and check it out. And it takes them like 100 years before they go back. They go back and there's like nobody there. And they're like, you lied, bro. You just straight up lied to our face. There's nobody. You said millions. Like, there's nobody here. Turns out they gave them smallpox. They all died,
Mm.
and the rainforest completely grew over it. So now they're like, they have LiDAR, and as they're cutting the rainforest down to like make fields to grow and stuff, they're finding these old civilizations that like actually were there. But they like really thought this guy was a liar for all of history until like 2020.
That's
Which is
crazy.
Nuts.
Dude, smallpox is crazy because it genuinely, like, people talk about the Black Plague. I think the Black Plague wiped out like 40% of
crazy.
Europe's population. Like, genuinely, it was between 30 and 40 or something. And it was really bad. And smallpox was a bigger epidemic and wiped out like 80% of the Native American people and huge parts of the Mayan civilizations, huge parts of Aztec, huge parts. So like, I would agree. Like, I would imagine there would be civilizations that we never heard from because smallpox was transferred through, you know, one dude going to the next
Right,
village
check it
to
out,
go trade, and he travels for miles, and he's like, boy, I sure do feel sick. And he's like, I'm sure that it's just the 400 miles I had to walk. And then instead it was, he had what smallpox is called, the Red Plague,
The
not the
Red
Black
Plague.
Plague. It's actually called the
Nice.
Red Plague.
Those
Interesting.
conquistadors were
Look it
itchy,
up.
boy.
Yep.
They had stuff all
Isn't
Isn't that
over
what they
them.
think happened to Roanoke?
Yes.
I thought that, yeah, Roanoke, they think they
yeah, Roanoke.
smallpox, and then the ones that lived like left,
Yeah.
and then people came
Left. Roanoke is a crazy. We need it. Let's do an
And
episode on Roanoke.
is that
one
where
of these days. I
Jamestown
think
is
that would
too?
be
Like
worthwhile because
Jamestown,
that's a
revival
conversation.
Oh no, that wasn't. I mean, that was smallpox Kool-Aid, but
Yeah. The smallpox Kool-Aid.
No, stop, Josh. This is misinformation.
Jonestown.
Jamestown Revival is the
Jonestown.
band. My bad.
oh,
my
I
bad.
thought
And-
you said Jonestown.
And let me,
Oh.
you guys.
Oh, I
No,
heard
he said
that band.
Jamestown. And to be clear, Jonestown, I want to say this for the people who died at Jonestown. It
Oh,
wasn't
I
they
know that.
voluntarily drank the Kool-Aid. There were
Yeah.
armed guards forcing them to drink the Kool-Aid. It wasn't even Kool-Aid. It was Flavor Aid. It was off-brand Kool-Aid. And so everybody who's used the phrase drink the Kool-Aid, you're wrong. It's not right. The people, what happened to those people
Oh,
down
yeah.
there is
The-
wrong.
The survivors are like,
Kool-Aid.
Jim Jones is from
It's so
Indiana,
cheap. Why
Gary,
did they just
Indiana.
drink
are
Kool-Aid?
like were like hiding under their beds, right? They were like,
It's Flavor Aid.
they're like, a lot of the survivors were like, yeah, I hid under my bed because they were
No.
like shoveling everyone out with like guns.
It was survivors, yeah, but it was like Jim Jones had created like a group of people that were like, it was basically a bunch of like elderly
Jim
people
Jones.
and then some like people he had recruited. And so like the hundreds of people that were there that were forced to drink the Kool-Aid, and one chimp,
Oh,
his pet chimp, had to drink
So-
the Kool-Aid as well,
Yeah.
R.I.P.
which was brutal. Like, he didn't know what was going on. But Jim Jones was mostly just on a lot of
I assume
narcotic
so.
substances and had lost his mind by this point. But anyway, yeah, people were forced at gunpoint, so it was not. It wasn't voluntarily drinking the
good to
Kool-Aid for
know.
most of them. I want to be
Not
clear.
ancient civilization,
Okay.
but an important
Children
civilization.
died.
You know what I mean?
Important is a good word for it.
That's right. Well, I think that's about all I got.
Okay. Sorry, I'm off my.
No.
Yeah, I
you're
jumped
good,
on a
you're good. Yeah, I think
soapbox
that's
about
everything
Jonestown.
I got. One last thing: we used to have lions in America, and that's sick. We used to have lions and cheetahs and saber-toothed tigers.
Never seen secondhand
still have
lions,
it.
bro.
I
We
knew
still
about
do.
the Sabies. I didn't know
Yeah,
about
that's
the
true.
Lions.
Such a sick movie, dude.
That
Me
is
and my
a solid
grandpa
movie.
love
Heartwarming
that
film.
movie.
Yeah,
Which one?
Secondhand
secondhand
lions.
lions.
Where are
I
you?
didn't hear it.
So when
Oh, I thought you said
No.
I love
No, I
secondhand
said
Good
I knew
story.
about the Sabies.
Not a
I
good
didn't
story,
know
but
about the
a story.
Lions.
Right when
It's a
flat
story.
screen TVs came out,
It is
that
interesting.
was the first movie
Oh my
I
God,
ever saw
yes.
on a flat screen TV was Secondhand Lions.
Oh my
Olympic
God.
figure skating was the first thing I ever
Good
saw in
movie.
HD, and it blew
That's
my
a
mind.
terrible memory. Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, the
HD.
ice. I could like see the ice.
Yeah.
Like it was insane. I'll never forget it.
Going back from HD to SD is one of the most aggressive things.
cannot-
I can't
think
believe
about
we
this all the
lived
time.
like
I
that.
kinda
look at
nuts.
it and I'm like, did I just assume?
They'll show like a college football game from like
can't see.
2007,
You
which
can't
doesn't
see.
feel like
You
it's
can't
that
see.
Yeah,
long.
it looks like
and you're like,
it looks like Tecmo
is
Bowl,
this-
bruh.
Tecmo Bowl. That's right.
it's bad, dude. You're like,
Yeah.
is this the
When your
first
YouTube video
one? What
doesn't
is
load
happening?
and it's
Super
just
Bowl
like
one.
grainy. It's like that's 720. It's like what? 720.
Yeah. It's like Mississippi State and Ole Miss playing. Dan Mullen's on the sideline, but I'm very confused because it looks like it could also be Bear
Could be
Bryant.
anybody.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, that's my thing on
Sweet.
ancient
Well,
civilizations, guys. Hope you
Mulvey,
learned something. Thanks.
I loved it. Those are good facts. I think
Hope so.
I think we all learned something.
Don't take. I don't know if
Um,
everything's true, but it's interesting stuff to learn about our past lives.
Oh no, you can
That's
just.
right,
This is a
100%
pod.
true.
You can say
I
whatever
mean,
you
And someone
want. It's
says,
true.
"No, I heard it on a
Yeah,
podcast."
they can't. They're not going to
Okay.
check it.
right.
Yes. And then they're like, "What podcast?" And they tell us ours, and they're like,
Speaking
"Oh, I
of
bet that's
facts into
educational." And then they come
existence,
listen, and
as
they're
we're
like,
talking about.
Absolutely.
No.
"You want to stand by that, Josh? That sentence that everything that we've said on this podcast is fact so far."
Next time I'm on here, it'll turn into
Okay.
some weird statement. So no.
So you're saying those earlier statements you made were not weird? Okay. All right. So we're gonna jump into our vibies of the week. Josh, this is just where we talk about what we're vibing to. What's the music?
Theme songs, tracks, commercials, whatever.
And yeah, music from anywhere. Like it can be music from the music of the soul too, like the sound of our hearts reverberating against one another as we link arms to defeat injustices in the world. That could be what you're vibing to. And if you're not vibing to that, I'd probably
Sure.
question your integrity. So Cam, what you vibing to this week?
Well, man, you lost me in that whole explanation. My brain went numb. I wasn't listening to a word you said.
ADHD
Well,
is kicking
boys, as you know, this weekend it's 4th of July weekend, right?
It is. It is indeed.
This thing on. That's what I'm vibing to.
It's on.
Well, Uncle Sam put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist. And an eagle will
And
fly,
an eagle will
and it's
fly.
gonna be
It's gonna be
when you hear Mother Freedom start ringing her bell.
Bring
And it
her
feels
bell.
like the whole wide world is coming down on you.
Oh, that's
Brought
nice.
to you courtesy
Oh,
of the red, white, and blue.
of the red, white, and blue.
Go listen to that one good time and you'll feel a lot more
Uh,
patriotic. Especially after some of the things we've said on this podcast. So.
No doubt.
I think he's from. Toby Keith is like from Iowa, huh? Like he's
I
not
thought
from
he
the
was
South,
from- I don't know.
right?
Kurt,
I'm not
your
wrong. I'm
country
checking
voice,
that.
that's Keith Urban. Yeah.
That's
Kurt, I've always thought your country like make fun voice is like Toby Keith. Like it sounds kind of like.
Oh,
I was genuinely obsessed with Toby
Well, that makes
Keith for a
sense.
long time. So that was the first album I had was Toby Keith, and then I got
Also,
Rascal
I hope I
Flatts
didn't
shortly
bust any
after.
eardrums. I
So
just
those
love
two
America,
people made
you
me.
know.
Yeah, I get it.
He's actually from Clinton,
Mississippi,
Clinton,
Rats.
Oklahoma.
Flatlands,
Flatlands.
plains.
Kind of south.
It-
Kind of.
Not
He's a
where the Cannon
cowboy. He
dealership
should
is.
have
Oh,
been a
wait,
cowboy.
Nissan. Dumb. I messed it up.
Dumb.
Wow, what a failure.
Also, not a
Also,
dealership.
it's
It's a
in
plant.
Also, it's
a
in
factory.
Canton. It's not
Canton.
in Clinton.
Whoa. Wrong on literally
Nailed
everything
it.
I could've
Nailed
done.
that.
You were wrong on every
Just-
front.
Couldn't have been
Just
worse,
fake
honestly.
information about nothing at all.
Just words.
Really alienated people not from Mississippi.
And that wraps the
as
pod
We're not
up.
going to get into that all.
True.
It's true. It's true. We have one person who listens in France, so
Bonsoir,
Sacrez-vous
oui, oui.
to you.
Escargot.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Shout out. It could also be a person using a VPN, but I like to think it's like one dude named Pierre, like
Yo,
eating his
Pierre, you wanna
baguette,
come
just
out
listening
here?
and just being like,
We'll get you on the pod.
"These
We'll get you on the
Americans are
pod
so
here.
funny."
No doubt.
So my wee vibey this week is it's not J.M. Ross this week, even though you should be listening to J.M. Ross. Genuinely, I opened Spotify again this week and hit it and played it, and boy, the solo on the live version of Jackson that Josh made up and played is one of the best electric guitar solos. I think on the recorded version it's like a steel guitar, but Josh, I'm pretty sure you wrote and completely made up that solo and you put it out and it's amazing. But my wee vibey is actually my favorite artist of all time, Rustin Kelly. He has a song called The Weakness on YouTube. It's not even out yet. There's only people that recorded it on their phone stuff. Saw him live at the Rhyme and he played it, but he showed his album's almost done and he posted it. So I've been listening to it again. You can find it on YouTube. It's
You
called
a
The
fan
Weakness
fan. You
by
on the
Rustin
YouTube
Kelly.
track.
Brother, I saw, well, he played it live at the Ryman and I was like, I gotta find this. And people had been like videoing it, but I've posted on my Instagram story, which really is a desperate move of me just trying to get any amount of
get
validation
it.
from him to be like
Yeah.
just like it. So Rustin, if you're listening to this, please, I need something these days. But he did a really good job. It's called The Weakness by Rustin Kelly. Check it out on YouTube. It's very good. He plays a baritone
Nice.
guitar. So if you're a guitar person, you'll think that's cool. If you're not, you'll be like, shut up. What's more, it would be an octave down. You got it. Not an octave down. It would just be. Stop, Josh. Josh made a face. He's telling me what's wrong with it.
5 octaves. But yeah, I got a nice little vibe of the week, my boys. It's the most hipster name I've ever heard. I mean, it sounds like straight out of like 2011, but it's Josiah and the Bonnevilles. Okay, he found him on TikTok. First of all, it just like it's one of those you just hear it, you know, you pay attention, and you're like, that's very nice. He has Josiah.
No offense to anyone named Josiah in this world, but you were homeschooled.
Yeah,
For
no
sure.
doubt.
Big vibe, big
Ooh,
homeschool
yeah.
vibes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's
I think the only Josiah
I
I
also
know
know
was
Josiah
homeschooled.
that was homeschooled.
So yes,
Maybe that's why. I just know one guy named that.
I only know this
Gotta
guy,
be.
but he makes some slappers. So he makes his own music, but he does covers. And I heard this new cover that's coming out Friday, which it'll already be out when this recording comes out. But he covers Glass Animals' song called Heat Wave, which is already a bop. But the way it's like folky, like vibey folk almost, and it's like, wow. But he also has a
like stomping
no,
holler
it's a
kind of
little
deal, or
harmonica,
it's
but
like
it's really just him on the guitar with some just like
Gregory
Gregory Allen
Allen
with
kinda,
like a little like ambiance, you know what I mean? Like a little reverb.
He got some
but he
cane,
does
I
a
like
Justin
it, I
Bieber
got you.
cover.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he does a Justin Bieber's cover of Ghost as well that's out, and I did not realize it was Justin Bieber in any fashion. Like the way he flips the script is so nice. So nice.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
Yes,
He's
yes.
on TikTok.
He's so good.
Yes, I've heard
Dude,
it. I've heard
Go
the one
listen
of
to his
Ghost.
one of Heat
So
Wave.
good.
It is unbelievable, dude.
All right, bet Ghost. It sounds like genuinely
it's
like
crazy.
a Jason
It's
Isbell
crazy. I had to look it
song.
up.
They're shooting fireworks off outside my house, by the way. I don't know if they're going to pick this up, but it
On
is
Thursday?
You sure,
They're
man?
ready.
What kind of neighborhood do you live in?
Oh my god.
normal, the same as yours. It's a normal neighborhood, and our neighbors have 46 people that live at their house. They have Josh has been to my house. He's seen it. They have like 8 cars
That's a
parked
lot.
in front of
That's
their
too many.
house, and they shoot fireworks off while my 6-month-old
yeah,
tries to
it's
sleep.
gonna be a
lot.
They're great.
For you.
neighbors. Love them. Not yet. All right, Josh. Well, no, you'll go last. Quiet
I
boy.
think it's everybody.
Wait, no, you are last. That's it. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cut that. Yeah, I thought for some reason I expected Cam to have like a commercial or something, and instead it was just him singing.
I'm trying
A
to get our
ridiculous
videos
song,
to not
to
be
be fair,
taken
but
down.
it wasn't
Like, I
from a
don't want our
ridiculous
videos to be
place.
taken down. I know not enough people are watching, but like,
Yeah, we haven't got monetized yet.
On Spotify. We can play
Oh,
it.
really?
We can play it on Spotify.
Well, just loop it in
Um,
instead of my singing, I guess.
Yeah, so I can put it in.
We're
on
not
Spotify.
monetized on YouTube, so it doesn't matter. It
No.
doesn't matter.
Absolutely not. We're leaving the singing in. No, we're not. Not yet. We will be though. If you're watching
Like you.
YouTube, please subscribe.
Ring the bell.
We had 150 views and only
Like the
ring the
video.
bell. We'll hit all that at the outro. I'm gonna have to. That was accurate. All right. Pretend like most of this didn't happen. And Josh, what is your wee vibey of the week? What you listening to?
Know Ariel Posen? He's a
Maybe?
I feel
No.
like John Austin
She one of the
What a
indie chicks?
shares a
pretentious
bunch
question.
of his stuff. I mean, he was the guitarist for the Bros Landrift, and I think that's how
Yeah, I know them.
he like kind of got onto the scene. I think, but he's got a solo thing. Has had a solo thing for a while, but came out with a song this week or last week. Be Enough. It's really good. He's a slide player.
Ooh, I do like slide.
really
I do
good
like a little
singer.
slide. It's tasty.
I think he tunes his guitar to B, which is what a baritone guitar is in, but he keeps it on a regular scale. So
Ooh,
stays
not a
really,
music
I
podcast.
mean, it's
Stop
really
it.
interesting sound. Really interesting.
Yeah, this is
sound.
too deep. Too deep. You're supposed to say the name of the
ain't never
song
going-
and then
Be Enough
Actually, for
by
those at
Ariel
home,
Posen.
you'll never hear what key a song is played in ever again on We Vibey.
That's the last Sean.
Never
We
again.
swear.
There's no way.
We swear we won't do that to you. His name's
No shot.
Ariel Posen.
Ariel
Is it spelled like
Posen.
Ariel?
It is a cool name. I'll give him that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a listen.
He's
Ariel
really good. I mean, I
Posen
feel
is a
like
sick
all of
name.
you would really like
Also,
him.
Yeah,
Very
I'll give him a
Rustin
peek.
Kelly vibes, kind
we
of
probably would.
very rootsy.
Okay. It's insane to me that you thought that explaining him as the former guitarist of the Bros Landrift
Unreal,
was going to
man.
be like,
what in
oh,
the world?
got it.
I think
Like, it'd be different if you were like, oh, was
I
in
think
Van
that's
Halen.
Eddie,
what I did.
yeah,
I
Eddie.
think I
Oh,
read that, like,
okay.
literally yesterday, so I'm like 80%
R.I.P.
that's true, but it might not be true.
I don't know who the Bros Landrift. It could be
Well,
true.
they're good too. So.
Sounds like a rival podcast.
Dude, the fireworks gonna be tough to edit out, man.
Yeah, big shots.
America. So ending. Hey, Josh, I'm gonna give you a chance to plug your stuff. Tell us how to follow you, where to find you, where to watch you, where
Another
to,
boiler
what to
room.
do.
The what?
Bowery Electric.
He's at the Bowery
That's
Electric
what
every
it's
day.
called.
Every
Josh
day.
is a little egg getting boiled every night, baby.
Okay. Musically, I go by J.M. Ross. I've got a single coming out July 29th. It's called Easy. It's the first installment of an EP I've got coming out through the summer into the fall, which is coming out as singles, and then will be sold as a physical vinyl in November.
I'm copping.
Yeah, it's called Easy, and it'll be available July 29th. You can find me on Spotify as J.M. Ross.
Pre-save.
Yeah, and he has music right now too. Yeah, pre-save it, like it, dude. Give him a follow. He's even though he's all of our best friend, he's also a student at Berkeley, so he actually does know what he's talking about. Which you probably knew that the moment he tried to tell you the key of a song on our podcast, you psychopath. But it's great. It's genuine. He does folky kind of Americana
Yeah,
music.
please
It's
listen.
worth
Like,
listening to.
come on, guys, listen.
Give it a shot.
How many times? Come on. Seriously, it's
Please.
good. Listen.
Please. Sweet.
Josh.
Well, for us here at We Likey,
Yeah,
goodbye, Josh.
Appreciate
We
you
love
coming
you.
on, boss.
Thank you for being here. You can dip out, and we'll do our outro when you're gone. So get out of here, you little
Squirt,
you little tiger.
squirt.
All right, folks. So thanks for tuning in to We Likey this week. We want you to likey
Please.
the video, likey the Spotify. You have to listen to a certain amount to rate it, but if you're hearing this, then
Please.
rate
We
it
need
5
you.
stars. We say this most weeks, but we know
That's
it's
right.
not 5 stars. But we can't
Just
get to
come
5
on,
stars unless we
guys.
have millions
Come
and millions of
on.
fans.
Keep watching it. None of you expected
Hit
us
the
to
follow.
make 3 episodes, and that's
No, you
fine.
didn't.
But
We're
we just broke through that threshold.
Dude,
We're scheduling stuff. Like we're making outlines.
We're
like,
trying, guys.
This
Come
is
on.
a project, okay? This
We
is
did.
a passion project. So you better like it.
Please.
You better
Shouts
like it.
shouts to McCurley.
Yeah.
Shouts
And-
to Tej. You guys seem like loyal followers, and I appreciate you.
Diehards.
Shout out to
Also
Alex
Alex.
Hamilton as well, who is the #1 fan. Shouts out. If you want your name shouted out, comment on the
everybody a
YouTube
shout out.
video.
Literally,
Shoot us a
yes,
text that you
we are-
like
we
it.
are
We'll give out
just-
shout
we are
outs.
ready
Yeah.
to shout you out for no reason other than just showing us any amount of
We'll
attention.
shout anybody.
So
Being the
please,
best.
Just tell us you watched it or listened to it,
So-
and I'll shout you out. No problem. It'll
Mhm.
next
Yeah, we'd
episode will
love
be
to
an
hear it.
hour of shout outs.
Also,
That ain't no problem. That ain't no
I'm
problem.
fine with that. Also, next episode, we're actually, if you're listening to this and you wanted to be in on the conversation for next episode, we're going to be reading a book together and talking about that as our topic. So kind of we did ancient civilizations this week. We did reality shows last week. We're actually going to be talking about a book. So you actually might get smarter
Mhm.
from the next
Not
episode.
from
So
us.
everything
but from
we
if you read
said
the
will
book,
be
you'll
true.
smarter.
The 4
From the
agreements.
book, yes.
Yeah.
And the book is going to be the 4 agreements.
Let's all say it at
Yes.
the same time.
1, 2, 3. The 4
Who's the
agreements.
author? The 4 agreements. It's tough to do with video lag. Who's the author? This is going to be tough looks if we
Yeah, I
can't
can
tell
Google
them.
It's the most popular book in the world right now.
All right,
You'll
whichever-
find it.
Yeah, whichever book.
It's like
Whichever book you click on,
$12
that's the
at,
4 agreements.
It's Don Miguel Ruiz.
Fine.
That's it.
Okay, that's one of our
Yeah,
big
big
Don
guys.
wrote it. Yeah, we're gonna be
You
jumping
can
into
find
that
it at
next week,
Target
so
or
yeah.
Walmart.
All right,
So-
boys, we got anything?
Amazon
Okay.
Audible.
Also, hey, this is just real quick. I know we're doing a lot of plugs here and stuff, but if you heard the ads or didn't skip all the way through them, one of the things that helps us fund the pod and helps us be able to do this is if you click on our Skillshare link. You heard it earlier. We like you that pod. You can put that code in for 40% off. And as well as the other ads, make sure you're clicking on the links, follow. Even if you're just like doing it just to be nice, go click on it. It helps them know that we have people who want to listen and gets us more sponsors and so that we can
That's
keep
right.
making great content. So yeah, anything
It's
else,
gonna be
boys?
it, babes.
Cue it.